What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So, while I am a trader, that is the main part of my income, I also do real estate, do a lot of other things. And I've talked about getting your real estate license before, so we're going to talk about that again now. What are some requirements? Because you guys have asked me, and man, I almost seem negative when I answer the question, because I know everybody comes in thinking they're just going to sell a million houses, they're just going to get super rich, because every real estate agent they know is rich. You know, everyone on YouTube's a real estate agent, and the barrier for entry not that big, right? Not exactly hard to get, but the failure rate, I would say, is exponential. Like it's ridiculous because it's so easy to enter, because people's expectations probably aren't managed well. I almost like have a chip on my shoulder with that. Like, man, you're not just gonna come in here, and I've seen quite a few, actually. I don't want to call them one-offs now, but they do come in and they kill it. For every one of those, I've seen 200 come into the office and leave, and I don't think they were just set up with the right expectations. So I do have this written down here. This is my Word document. Just kind of grabbing some what do you need, a little bit more formal. So we'll go through this list, and I'll kind of give my opinion on that. And there's one part in here you're gonna hear me get a little annoyed, but the other part let's go over. So minimum age, yes, you guessed it, you got to be an adult. I don't know who came up with that number, but 18, yes, you are an adult. I don't know any 18-year-old out there just killing it. Let's be honest, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this 18-year-old fresh out of high school is going to be the one to do it. Now, as a real estate agent, it's just your job to open up the door and let them go in, right? It's a stack of 2x4s, 2x6s, depending on the builder and quality, but that's that. What shape do you want? As a real estate agent, it's not a sales job. We are not there. In fact, it is illegal to be actually selling them and telling them to get this house, pressuring them like, oh, you imagine this, painting that picture for them. We are not allowed to do that. That's a big no-no. So in theory, 18-year-old could do this job just fine. However, in reality, probably just not gonna happen. It will be cool, you know, by the time you're 21, you can say, I've been doing this for a few years, do this for a while, it'll make you sound cool. If you don't just, you know, come out of the gate just banging, you know, it really is going to be slow anyway. So, I don't know if there's anything wrong with getting your license. I don't know. Anyway, education. So most states require that you complete a certain number of classroom hours in real estate education before you take the license exam. Now, I don't know every state, but I do know Missouri. So it's 72 hours, so 48 hours, there's a salesperson. I think they changed the name because I had to Google this because it was they said 24 hours real estate practice. Now, when I was taking my my test, or my course, I guess, we called it law. I could see why they wouldn't change it, but it was like more of the legal side of things. But yeah, you do have to be in that classroom. There's online ways to do it. You can document your hours online. In my experience, just go take the class. I've seen so many people. I've seen quite a few just go online and they work at their own pace. In 6 months to a year, they do eventually get it. But this thing, you can knock this thing out in a couple weeks if you just go take the class. Take 2 weeks off from work and go do it. Background check. Yeah, that might sound weird to some of you guys. You're going to be just opening up houses, opening up doors to houses, letting strangers into another stranger's house. The state doesn't want to know who you are. So, unfortunately, I don't think you're going to get a license if you're an axe murderer. Well, at least if you've been caught for being one. They require a background check before you can be licensed. Yeah, probably passing that background check, as in you haven't murdered anybody. I'm sure sex trafficking's in there. I'm pretty sure if you're double check. I don't know if a felon can get a real estate license. I don't think you can, but I don't want to, like, you know, have a felon get mad at me because they can, you know. So passing the exam, yeah, you do have to pass the test. Most states require you to pass a written exam to demonstrate your knowledge of real estate laws, regulations, and practices. With mine, I didn't have to write anything out. It was multiple choice. You did have to get a 70% passing score. I've heard Missouri is one of the hardest ones, and everyone I've talked to has agreed with that. They know they have multiple state licenses, and they do think Missouri was the hardest. I didn't find mine that hard. Fun fact, I went with a group, and So I flew through mine, and I'm done. And everyone's saying it's going to take 3 hours, and I'm 30 minutes in, I'm done. And I'm waiting around. I'm thinking, all right, surely my friends are almost done. I hear them rustling around. They're getting up. I'm thinking, cool. So I start exiting out everything. Like, I'm ready, done. I stand up with them. I'm like, let's do this. How do you guys think you did? And they're just going to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, well, I'm done. So I don't know how well you'll do on it, but yeah, multiple choice. They do try to get you. If you skim through it and you read it fast, they'll get you in the wording in a lot of these. They want to make sure you understand everything. I wish I had some examples, and I hate to sound like this because I used to ask other agents, hey, what's in the test? What questions? I'm going to do a YouTube video, so hit the subscribe button. We're going to talk about some popular questions on the test. But, you know, I used to ask them, hey, what's some questions? What's it like? They're like, I don't know. In fact, they would all tell me, once you pass this test, there's none of that you will use in the real estate world. I was like, yeah, whatever, what a cop-out. Here I am saying the exact same thing. Pass the test, and that's cool, and then you could probably just toss it right off the desk because it really won't mean anything. Yeah, you need to be Google smart to pass this test, but in the real world, it's completely different stuff. Sponsorship by a licensed broker. This is in my previous video. I talked about how if you had a license, it doesn't matter. Pretend you have one right now, because that's how much changes when you pass the real estate license. Yeah, pretend right now you have a real estate license. There's no magical list to call people from. Oh, I'm going to call these people and get them to sell their house. Nah, it's not there. You know, like you got all these leads everywhere. No one talks about that. It's not there. There's no magical anything, and you don't even get your license. And that's what this is talking about right here, because your broker needs to hang that license up in their office. So you don't even get a piece of paper. You get to see it. Hey, you passed. Ta-da. We're gonna mail it to your broker. You don't even get to hold it. You can't even Uber it to your office. It's nothing. That's it. So in most states, you must be sponsored by a licensed broker who will be responsible for supervising your activities as a salesperson. Yeah, your broker's the one doing all the deals. He's signing off on everything. You are merely the peasant, but you get paid to be a peasant. So know your role. That's that. Continuing education. Here's something people don't talk about often. You have to take classes every year. I guess it's alright, because you probably would want your real estate agents to be up on things. I'm pretty knowledgeable about meth now, because one of my classes was about meth. Certain trash to look for, how it's made. And I was like, man, this is actually pretty interesting. So sometimes there's fun classes in there. Sometimes it's about as boring as you would think. For those of you guys that want to be investors, there's also a lot of like, I took a how to buy rental property one. I didn't think it was that bad. But yeah, so every year you do have to complete this so you don't get a license. Complete continuing education courses to maintain their license. Yeah. Now, the most annoying part about getting your real estate license is the cost. Now, it's going to cost about $2,000. Like $2,100, I think. I think that's what it was when I got mine. Not a single, like the most expensive thing I think is the board dues for $500. There's about 9 million, don't do the math, but 9 million fees that are like 10 to 20 bucks. Like if there's a job for this, I would pay somebody. If you could just be like my chaperone, I give you my debit card and you make all the fees. Like, I don't like paying people like that. There was just that much. Like, I broke down some that I remember. So there's $2K, just put $2K in the bank and then just get that debit card ready to say, here you go, here you go, here you go, 900,000 times. So there's the education part, you know that. Then there's the application fee. It's like $50 for the app fee, $40 for the issuance of it. Like, all right. They're going to beat you over the head with these stupid fees. There's the fingerprint. There's the FBI, the Highway Patrol. There's board dues. There's MLS, office dues. I said, and around 100 more I can't think of. There is a lot. It's incredibly, what I found, annoying. Because it's not just like one place. You're not just going to get one CVS receipt. Like, hey, here's all your dues totaled to this. Every one of these is a different transaction. And I know I'm complaining about, like, that's all you have to do, and all of a sudden you're in you get a whole nother career. But, man, I don't know why I hated that so much. It's like, can I just give somebody money and you just pull out of that? Like, can I just put this in escrow and you just pull out of that? Like, that'd just be a million times easier. Appreciate that. So, those are the requirements to getting your license. Now, once you get your license, that's when the fun begins. And I'll be honest, you're going to go into your office, you're going to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready. And I know a lot of offices love to promote that they got education to teach you how to be a successful real estate agent. I've heard it all, actually. And I've talked to a bunch of them. And it's not anyone's fault. But because the failure rate's so high, there's going to be two types of people in your office. The people that have been doing it for 50 years, and the people that just started with you. And the people that have been doing it forever, right? They're established, right? So they're going to talk about lead generation, because I told you there's no magical list. There's not like, hey, call these people and see. Like, you can drum that up. You can find lists to call. And if you've ever had a house for sale and then it expired and 9,000 agents called you, that's what you're on. You're on an expired listings list. And so it is a bunch of cold calling. There's knocking on strangers' doors. However you want to do it. So like the real talkative people, this is where I struggle with it the most, because I shut all that off. I got tired of my phone blowing up, because every time my phone would ring or I'd get a text, it was the third question. Something's wrong with their car, or how can I help them? It was like, hey, what's up? How you doing? My car's making this noise, or I need help with this. Like, I was like, man, get out of here. I don't need anybody in my life. So that definitely was not helpful for getting my real estate license. If you're a perk, you can talk to anybody. The more conversation, it'll be a numbers game. The more conversations you have, eventually 1% of that will probably convert. So you need to have a lot of conversations. And then there's open houses and everything. But when you get your license and you go into your office, those people that have been there forever, they don't have the referral base just keeps coming, because everybody knows, their friends knows, they're out there like just doing the work for them. They are a full-blown tree. You are just a seed. So it can be very difficult in the beginning, because the answer is like, oh, I just get referrals. You know how many agents I ask, like, hey, what do you do? Like, oh, I just get referrals. Oh, sweet, thanks, really helpful. Man, I'm gonna be a great agent tomorrow with that information. I appreciate you. If there was one thing, he passed, but I was on his team for a little bit, and it wasn't really anything, but it was just not really a sales pitch, but he would just say, here's what I want you to strive to do, and try to do all three. And it was like, get the most money for your house, best price for you, and in the best time possible. And you know, like, if I can do all three of those for you, can I be your agent? And strive to do all three of those. And people will love that. You got to get the people first, and that's where you will struggle when you do get your license. So if we're going to talk about getting your license, have those thoughts now, so you can hit the ground running. Just say, all right, like, right now, who could you call, and they will let you sell their house? Right? Who do you know looking to buy a house? Because if you can't think of anybody, like, your work's got to start. If you're thinking like, I could call this person, this person, this person, this person's renting, they might want to buy, and you can legit maybe turn it into something, then real estate could be great for you. And it is feast or famine. It is years are going to be great, and then some years are not going to be good. I think this next year real estate's going to be in some trouble for some, but trouble for some is great for someone else. So there's always a market. Anything else I wanted to touch on as far as getting that? Yeah, it is just, again, feast or famine. I don't know. That's that. Anyway, I'll wrap it up here. Let me know. Do you guys have your real estate license? Are you going to get your real estate license? Was this at all helpful? I'm going to post some questions here for you so we can I want to help through that. I don't post a lot of real estate on this channel. I've been meaning to, so that is coming. So anyway, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.